and sort of looking at management roles then, I saw something crazy on LinkedIn the other day. It was a stat around women in leadership roles. I think 70% of men cover leadership roles, so your SLT teams, um, sort of management roles, etc. And only 30% are women, which I just think is shocking because I know personally in previous roles, I've always sort of reported to women previously, sort of director level, manager level, team leader, that sort of thing. So I just think it's crazy that there's that small proportion where I would think it was more of a 50-50 sort of thing going off. Don't know what you guys think.
I don't find it shocking
Okay.
Yeah.
because we've got such a long way to go in terms of having that balance or that equality in senior leadership roles. 70% is a big chunk, and when you think about it, when I don't even know if this is the right phrase, but if we were to go back to a time where women were, the caregivers solely, predominantly, they were at home, they were raising the kids,
Yeah.
and they would stay and they would raise their families, and families were a lot bigger then as well. People were having more children back then. Whereas nowadays it's maybe one or two because of the prices of childcare or whatever it is. So men were able to, I suppose, go into those roles and stay in those roles because there wasn't that many women in the workforce. I think we're playing catch up now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, of course. I think that 30% then in reflection, it's sort of it's a huge thing. It's something to
Yeah.
sort of celebrate. But I still think we need to do more. What can we do to sort of get women into these management roles? And that's not sort of saying, okay, let's just push women into management roles for the sake of pushing them into management
It's
roles.
got to be for the right reasons.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sort of enhance their skills and sort of look at what women can offer to businesses, especially at that SLT level. What's your thoughts,
Yeah.
Rosie?
Yeah, I think we've got a long way to go. Like Vianney said, it's important that we sort of embrace it, and we definitely need to sort of hone in on sort of female talents where we can. I think that's sort of a key part of it, and like you say, I think we've come such a long way, but we are playing catch up now. Like you said, we're in a situation where we need to be putting people forward for for the right reasons, of course, but that we want to see more people in the SLT team, women and that sort of thing, rather than just focusing on the 30%. Let's grow that where we can. I think it's a good number to start with. It needs to be growing.
What I have noticed as well is on some job application now, like tech job boards, they will list a little bit about the company, show how quickly people are progressing in the business, and they also have like another filter which shows how the percentage of women that are in positions of leadership. And I think that's something really interesting because it's demonstrating that that company is not only progressive but inclusive, and they're trying to grow and foster that talent. But it also says a lot about people that come into that business, and it gives them the opportunity to think, do you know what, that could be me one day.
Yeah,
definitely.
Last year, women in C-suite roles dropped by 10%, according to Forbes.
wow.
Okay, that's crazy.
And I don't know why.
I was going to say that. Why? Like, why is this happening?
I don't know. I don't know. And I think it's an interesting point of discussion. But if women are leaving, if women in leadership are leaving those C-suite roles and it's 10% last year, then what does it look like this year?
Yeah,
and
I was going to say, is that going to double?
Is it going to double? Or is there going to be an influx of women who want to move into leadership roles? And what's the environment that's attracting women to go into those leadership roles?
Yeah, I did see something actually on salaries and sort of being in a role for X amount of time, and women are less likely to ask for a pay rise or any sort of like bonus benefits, that sort of thing, or a change in role. If they want a promotion, they're scared to ask for it. They'd rather just go into a different company and start afresh. And that for me is like, I'd like to pride myself in quite a thinking that I'm a confident woman and I'm sort of
Yeah,
powerful and that sort of thing.
You are.
If it came, if it came
you
down to
are.
it, would we ask those questions? Would we sort of say, okay, I've been here for X amount of years, I've contributed this, I've done, listed off sort of everything that we've done. Would we feel confident to do that?
It's an interesting question that we can throw out to
Yeah,
our audience. Do you feel confident asking for what you want when it comes to your job role?
yeah.
Do
Anything
you
in
want
your
to move
job
into
role as well.
management and you have an
Seeing headlines suggesting that women's ambition is diminishing and that women are becoming less ambitious, which I think is crazy. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Because I do have some sort of stats, but what are you sort of thinking in terms of
I would
this?
love to know the stats.
The stats actually tell a different story. So yeah,
Ah,
completely different story. So young women are especially ambitious. So sort of 9 in 10 women age 30 and under want to be promoted to the next level, which I think is really positive, really, really positive.
yeah.
3 in 4 aspire to become senior leaders. So people, I like it that younger people as well are sort of wanting to take that next step up and feel empowered to be able to do that, which is, I think, is amazing. Women of colour are even more ambitious than women overall. So sort of 96% say that their career is important to them. Again, astonishing facts. That's amazing. Sort of brilliant stats there. And 88 want to be promoted to the next level. So I think the stats are actually sort of proving different to what the headlines are saying, which again
What was
is
the
brilliant.
headline again? Women are
Women,
becoming less
yeah,
ambitious.
yeah, are becoming less ambitious, and that women's ambition is diminishing.
Where did that come from?
I saw that on the International Women's Day website, and that was something that I think had been brought out from, I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a stat that had sort of been released, but it was, well, a sort of a myth that had come out
Yeah, and we're
from
debunking
something.
that.
Yeah,
I think women are more ambitious these days than women
Yeah,
before.
I agree. I agree. I think the point around sort of women wanting to progress and that
yeah,
ambition, and that was it 96%, Rosie?
yeah, yeah,
96%. I think all three of us definitely fall into that 96%. And from my own sort of personal perspective and sort of own personal experience, I remember when I got married, forgot when I got married.
Last year.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, just yeah, about 3 years ago now. And typically, sort of like within my culture, it's sort of you get married as a girl and you just sort of like stay at home and have a baby, which is brilliant and it's amazing. But for me, it was so much more than that, and a career and sort of going into something that I enjoy. I can make some good money. I can enjoy myself. That was always a passion for me and wanted to sort of put that at the forefront of my focus. And I've been able to do that even with sort of like my culture and background and that sort of thing. And my partner supports that, sort of my family support that. And I think, yeah, I don't know whether it's a generation thing. I'm not really too sure, but I just think women, especially the women I'm surrounded by, my
Yeah,
friends, family, colleagues, everyone's so motivated and passionate and wants to be successful and be the best at what they do. So I think that myth is definitely a myth. It's
yeah.
it's it's not true. But yeah, I think that's crazy. Really do.
We're going to put that myth in the bin.
In the bin.
It's
Yeah,
going
that's
straight in the bin.
in the trench.
Yeah.
In the
I
trash,
think there's more opportunities nowadays for women to be more ambitious.
definitely.
There's, with the introduction of social media and all these different platforms that you can build and carve out, whether that be, a side hustle, a personal brand, or even just become more of like a subject matter expert in the field that you're working in. There's so many more opportunities to not fall into the trap of not being ambitious. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be ambitious
Of
or not having
Yeah,
that.
course.
It's just who you
Yeah.
are as a person, right? But I think the opportunities are bigger, with technology now, lots of new
definitely.
businesses starting up. The UK, opportunities to work remotely for businesses.
Yeah,
There's yeah, I think if we're talking about a generation thing, the opportunities that our parents would have had when they were growing up
Completely
to
different.
do some of the things that they did, that we are doing or able to do, are just they weren't available.
The
So
world's changed, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
yeah, I think
But have
that
opinions changed? And sort of like, I think the world has changed and the opportunities are there for women. But again, sort of looking at what you said earlier on, V, are women that confident enough to sort of apply for those positions, apply for an SLT role, apply for, do you know what I mean? It's like, is that confidence there from women? Or
I think it's all relative, because it's whether that confidence is applied to going after what you want in a career, in a business, or starting
Yeah.
something yourself. And I think the confidence for women to start, mini empires for themselves, still has that element of that ambition that we're talking about, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's, creating something for yourself. There's far more entrepreneurs nowadays than
100%.
and there's far more opportunities to create something out of nothing. There's people that are selling their, their like crochet work on
I was going to say stuff on Etsy. Yeah, they've got that
right
now, haven't you?
there's
Yeah, Etsy
platforms,
and things.
there's
Yeah,
opportunities for you to showcase who you are and what you want to make of yourself and how to leave that legacy.
definitely. No, I agree. I think, like, especially like you said with like the Etsy, you've got like TikTok now, so you can sort of create your own personal brand and be who you want to be, which I think is amazing. Because that is the way, that's where sort of the world's going a little bit, obviously with sort of social media and stuff. But I think people can feel empowered in terms of going on TikTok and doing some TikTok dances and stuff, but that's their personal brand and they're creating that, and go for it. Why not? Whether you're in a role like we are, or whether you're in an office job, or whether you are in a role where you're showcasing what you can do on social media or on Etsy and stuff, feel empowered to do it.
I think
it's the
oh, sorry, V.
Oh,
You go. You first.
I was just going to say, I think it's the visibility. If you can see it, then you can be it, and that's what previous generations never had. They didn't see that they could, create something out of nothing or get to certain levels in their career, because people just went to work and it was they're living in their own movie, right? No one else is seeing their life, but now we can see into other people's lives and seeing a day in a life of this person in this role or whatever it is. It inspires people. It creates more hunger, drive, and again more opportunities.
People feel like they can do that as well, because they've, like you say, they've seen other people do it and think, I can do that. Why not?
Exactly.
Go for it. So I agree.
What have we got to lose?
Exactly.
What was you going to say, Medina?
I was just going to ask a bit of a question to the viewers, really, and sort of pop your comments below. Have you ever been in a position where you've wanted to apply for a role, or you've wanted to get into something in like a different sector, and the questions popped into your head, will I get this role or will I get this opportunity if I'm a woman? Just pop your comments below. Let us know what you think. Me personally, I haven't, but it would just be good to sort of see, okay, you're looking through Indeed, you find a role. Will I be impacted because I'm a woman? I might not get this job because I'm a woman, because I might go off on mat leave. I might be off because I'm struggling with my health or something like that. Has that ever popped into your brain before sort of applying for an opportunity? Be good to sort of hear your thoughts.
Good to know.
Good question. Okay, so continuing on the topic, obviously on women, but this is more about health and in the workplace. What I've discovered is around 1 in 3 women say that they feel comfortable talking about their health issues in the workplace, which is 35% if we're going to look at it as the entirety of the workplace. So 35% of women feel that they feel comfortable talking about their health issues in the workplace, and 1 in 2 said that their current or previous workplace has been supportive with regards to any health issues that they have faced or are facing. So that's 53%. of people feel like they have been supported with health issues at work.
That should be 100%.
I was just about to say, surely that's a given.
That's why I was like, so
yeah,
I think, speaking from personal experience, I actually wasn't in the workplace when I had experienced problems with my health. I was self-employed, but I'm thinking if I had an employer at that time of what I was experiencing. So for some of you that don't know, I had a condition called premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is a condition that affects your menstrual cycle, your moods and your behaviours. And it's really, really disruptive. And I had to go about completely changing my diet, my lifestyle, my mindset. And after, being found that I had that condition, I found a whole community of women who were told that there's no cure to this condition, and it completely like wrecks how you go about your everyday life, because 10 days of the month you're just wiped, you sink basically into a black hole. But I was working for myself then, and I don't know how I would have dealt with speaking to my employer, whether that's the company I'm in now or another employer. I don't know if I would have felt comfortable to discuss it, because it's such a personal issue, because it's not something that is visible. It's like an invisible condition. So I find it really interesting that there's only 1 in 3 feel like they're comfortable to speak about health issues. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think for me, it's sort of looking at, okay, we all have health issues and things that come up, etc. And I think the ones that typically affect women, like you said, they're not always visible. And I think sometimes that's part of the problem, because if it's to do with our hormones or anything to do with the woman's body, we do become a bit private about it, don't we? And that's not to say, okay, your current employer or previous employers would make you feel that way. Sometimes it's how you feel yourself, because it is a private matter. And what can employers do going forward? Sort of an open forum, sort of like an open door policy, that sort of thing, not just a tick box. Okay, V's okay, tick the box. Medina's okay, tick the box. Rosie okay.
Yeah.
It's more of that open forum of, okay, I'm a human, you're a human, woman to woman, or even man to woman, it doesn't really matter. Let's speak openly and support you, because what you're going through, you have no control over. And I think that's something that's really tricky when it comes to sort of like hormones, etc. We have no control over what happens
over
in
this
our
body.
bodies.
No
Yeah,
control.
it's so
No
hard.
control.
It is really hard, and it affects us physically, from like the inside and also
Mentally,
mentally. It's crazy.
emotionally.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's so important to have, the work that, our business has done with, menopause in the workplace, and, supporting hormonal health in the workplace.
Yeah.
To educate and break down those barriers, that stigmatism that comes from, women's health. And, there's so many businesses now that I'm seeing that are on this trajectory to opening up their doors and their policies to invite that it's okay, you're a woman, we all go through this, or we all going to go through this in our lifetime, because it's uncontrollable, and to have that level of support means the world. And I think if I wouldn't have an issue of saying, do you know what, I need a day, but this was in 2018, so I don't know whether I would have been as confident
to say it, to go to someone,
that. And then a lot of people end up suffering in silence, don't they?
And keeping it to themselves, don't they? I think it's important to have that sort of, being able to have that open forum and open communication, and being able to sort of tell people how you're feeling, because it's not always the nicest experience, is it? Like you say, we all sort of get it, we all know what it's like to have hormones and things that are running, and when we can't help it. So I think it's good that we can sort of put ourselves out there and feel comfortable, but it'd be great if everyone could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think companies are changing though, and
Yeah,
sort of we
yeah,
speak
of
about like
course.
negative things, don't we? But a positive I experienced the other week. I went to go visit a client. Sort of after the client meeting, went to the bathroom, and they have products in there for women. Where
Yeah.
I think rewind to maybe 5 years ago, that would just be something you would keep in your bag, in your
Yeah.
locker. Sanitary products, you'd just be like, yeah, hell no, don't want anyone to see that. It's something that's personal to you. But
Yeah, you'd tuck it up your
actually,
sleeve, wouldn't you? Or put it in
Yeah,
your
took it
back
up my
yeah,
sleeve
pocket.
and so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I think it's just refreshing just to sort of see that clients are now sort of doing that, companies are now doing that, and I think it's sort of, it springs those sort of conversations. Okay, have you got everything you need? Do women feel comfortable coming to work? If they are struggling, have they got everything around them? So yeah, that was just really sort of like refreshing to
I
see, I
think that should be
think.
the standard. I think
Yeah,
that should
I
be
was
the
going to
Yeah,
say it should
standard.
be standard. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
but it's
interesting
good.
that you go on,
Sorry.
Rosie.
No, I was just going to say it's good that people are now starting to see that, and hopefully it will become, in sort of years and times to come, that it will be the standard, that it will be in every bathroom, and that people can sort of have that at their disposal, I suppose.
Yeah, because one of the things that I think is really important to understand about like women's health is we can use our hormones to leverage our performance,
Yeah,
our creativity, our communication skills. There's so many areas of growth that comes from when you understand what you're working with, when you pay attention to your hormones, when you're supported with them. So I think that is definitely a journey that workplaces are going on to become more inclusive. And I think if anyone's listening, they are struggling with their health, and they feel like they can't go to they just knocked my tea over. They can't go to their employer about a health issue. That 53% is half of the workforce. Then reach out to us
yeah.
for a chat.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think we've all had personal experiences that we've shared or might not want to share, where you do have that little bit of fear of speaking to an employer. But I think we're all quite lucky to say that we work at Tate, and we've got a really open and honest relationship with our SLT, etc. So we're part of the lucky bunch, I guess. But yeah, if you are, like B said, struggling or need any support, just let us know. We're here to sort of like listen.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, what does International Women's Day mean to me? I think again, this is just a personal sort of thought and feeling. Um, I'm an only child, sort of been raised by a single parent, single mum. Never really had, if we speak about a corporate sort of world, I've never had that corporate guidance of sort of going into an office job. My mum never worked. My mum was never sort of successful in the workplace, let's say. She was successful in other areas, but in the workplace, yeah, it was always just
she
me and
made you.
mom.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't know if that
she's done a good job.
don't know if
Show
she'd share
Medina's mum.
that. But for me, it was always sort of being successful at work was always sort of a main thing for me. Being happy. I think International Women's Day is a chance for us to celebrate sort of successes of women, where we are in the world today, as much as we've got all of the negatives that we've spoken about. There's also so many positives and so many things that have changed, even if it's by 30%, 10%, whatever that may be. It has changed, and we
Yeah,
are in more of a comfortable position. But I think it's just a chance for us to have chats with other amazing women like yourself, and it's lovely to sort of see everyone sort of come together. And this is a specific day to celebrate us women, so why not why not go for it and celebrate us? But yeah, I think
yeah.
it's a lovely time for us all to just have a little chat and see where we are with it.
It's nice to sort of get things out there, isn't it? And like you say, have a chat, especially in this like open forum. I think it's good, and we should celebrate each other. We should celebrate everyone, but we have our day, and we want to sort of celebrate it. So it means a lot, and it's been good sort of getting stuff out and talking and discussing things between us. I think it's been sort of really empowering.
I'm going to come with the controversial edge.
Come with it.
Go
Because
for it.
last
Go for it.
International Women's Day, I wrote a post which was, I think I wrote, it's too late for me to find it now. I think I wrote, I do not celebrate International Women's Day. It was a bit of like a click and bait type post, but it was simply because I wanted to acknowledge the fact that we celebrate, well, I personally, and if I was looking from my own experience, I celebrate women every single day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think one day to really, elevate those voices of women from whatever marginalized, community or intersection is incredible. To really be like, I see you, I see what you're doing, I think you're amazing. For those women that may have quieter voices and they don't want to be so loud about some of the things that they've accomplished or some of the things that they're struggling with, they have the opportunity to do that on International Women's Day. But typically, I don't celebrate International Women's Day, which is why this is controversial, because I'm celebrating women all year round. All year round, every single day. I know that you guys are as well. You support each other so much, and so I'm really glad that I'm doing it with you two, because the support that you have for each other as colleagues is so evident.
Make me cry.
It's so back to turn emotional.
No, here comes the violence.
No, it's true.
I think we're in a company where we support one another. And it is just one day, and that one day is to, the topic this year is to inspire inclusion. But I'm hoping that this won't even be a topic of conversation one day, because the inclusion will just be standard.
Yeah. I think, like you say, it's every day. We should celebrate ourselves and our colleagues, our friends, our mums, our grandparents. Every day should be a thing. And like you say, hopefully one day it will be that it's not just we've got one International Women's Day. Every day, we are inclusive as a standard. I think that's right. I think I'm with you on that one, honey.
Yes. So as we come to a close, who is your most inspirational woman and why?
I don't think I can pick one. Obviously, it goes without saying our mums. I think we all love our mums and they're number one. I would say, just from like a corporate perspective, business perspective, all of the women I sort of work with, I know our SLT is formed by, let's say, 3 women sit on our SLT. And that to me is amazing. I've always supported sort of like HR directors, finance directors, etc., who have been women, and they've sort of inspired me to be in the position that I'm in today and to sort of keep going. So I'd say, women within the businesses that I've worked in, sort of previously and now.
Nice.
What about you, Rosie?
My mum is my number one, and I know that sounds really cliche, but she is, and she always will be. What she deals with, she's just a superstar. She's just amazing, and she's got sort of long-term life-changing illness. She still works 5 days a week. She doesn't let anything faze her. She's just amazing, and how she sort of brought me and my brother up as sort of like a single mum, and been so independent, and she struggles with sleeping. She still gets up every day and goes to work 5 days a week, and works in sort of, she's a hairdresser, and she's got Parkinson's, which a lot of people are like, what, that's crazy. So but she does, and she still does it, and she doesn't get any help. And she just, if I could be half the woman she is, then I would be happy with my life. So
we love Karen.
We love Karen.
Rosie's mum, Karen.
She's amazing. She is amazing.
I didn't know that, Rosie. So thanks for sharing. And
she's
so inspirational. What other inspirational woman could top that?
She's just amazing. She just sometimes I think, I've had a bad night's sleep, and we go to work and I think, but no, she gets like 2-3 hours sleep some nights, and then gets up and does all these clients and works 5 days a week, and I'm just like, wow. no rest. She's on medication, she struggles with, sort of her tremors and stuff. And I just think she's just, how she deals with it all. Never moans either. She'll never moan. And I'm like, wow. I sometimes feel bad for when I'm like, oh, I'm a bit tired after work. I'm like, oh no, I can't, because what she does, it's amazing. So she's definitely my inspiration and always will be. Karen, what about
Thank
you?
you.
Thank you.
I used to work with a sales director who I call my fairy godmother, and I actually named my daughter Noelle after her.
Oh, that's lovely.
And the reason why she inspires me so much is because she taught me a lot when I used to work with her, and really pushed me and showed me what I was made of. And just watching her in, difficult situations, or meetings with, board directors, and seeing how she handles things and the dynamics of the conversation shifts and things like that. She really inspired me. And I remember her saying something to me which let me kind of lose my perfectionism tendencies, which was done is better than perfect. Get it done, and then you can perfect it later. And that always sticks with me. She's done so many incredible things in her career, and I think she is just a woman to be reckoned with. And that's the person that inspires me, aside from my mum as well.
Oh, that's lovely. No, I'm glad we're recognizing these amazing women in our lives, including us. We are all amazing women as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so glad we did
watching this.
Thanks
for watching.